What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Your Ex Drinking Buddy with me, your host, Brennan Tassif. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Full video available there. Check out the merch store. Look at all this stuff. We got all this stuff on the merch store. It's all available on the website, BrennanTComedy.com. You can also get my tour dates there. Every show that I have coming up, I'm going to be in New York, traveling the country, doing a bunch of gigs. So check it out. Get tickets at BrennanTComedy.com. Check out the merch store. And lastly, if you really want to support, go to www.patreon.com/BrennanTComedy. And that is where you can find Tales from the Restaurant, where I divulge everything about the celebrities I wait on. And also a little bit of behind the scenes. You'll also get the episodes early, a bunch of bonus episodes. Check it all out. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode.
Grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Your Ex Drinking Buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It's my favorite thing to do. Hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do. Hang out with somebody and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I'll be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Grace Lobo!
All the way.
Making your triumphant return. The Red Wolf is back.
How many repeat guests have you had on the pod?
5 or 6.
Wow. Okay. Actually, I didn't realize this was such rarefied air.
Yeah. I don't.
Wow.
Because normally what happens is I'll have a guest on.
Sure.
They'll have awesome stories.
Yes.
We won't get to all of them. And I'm like, you got to come back.
Yes.
And then.
But you got other people you got to get
Well, and then
to,
I forget, they forget, nobody reaches back out.
Yeah.
And then when I'm scrambling for guests, I'm like, shit, I got to have
should have
so-and-so
had
back
them
on.
back. Yeah.
But you are back for a very specific reason. Before we get too far into anything.
Sure.
Plug everything up front. You have a podcast with friend of the show, Greg Melly, who's one of the repeat guests.
Oh. Wow,
Yeah,
and
he's been on
he
like,
was a repeat first. Wow.
He's been on like 4 or 5 times.
What the hell? Get a new guest.
There was a stretch there in between moving from Manhattan to Astoria where I was scrambling for
He's been on my
guests.
podcast 60 times. So
Well, you guys have a podcast together.
Yeah.
Let everybody know. And then
we have a
social media,
podcast
obviously,
called
you're
Hill to
blowing
Die
up.
on. Yeah, you can
I
follow
stepped
me
on
on
it. Go ahead.
Instagram at GK Lobo or on TikTok at Hello Grace Lobo.
You're blowing up.
Yeah.
Hill to Die on is the podcast. I stepped on you when you were
podcast. No, you're good. I'm bad at promo, so.
And you are on social media. You have discovered a
my niche?
hilarious niche.
Wait, thank you so much.
Because you are naturally, we're going to get into it. You opened for me in the special. You're one of my favorite comedians on the planet. So that's why I wanted you to open the special.
It was a delight.
But before we're going to talk all about that. But you, by nature, like me, are somewhat of a storyteller on stage.
You know what's funny? I did not think of myself as a storyteller
really?
at all. Yeah. And I didn't realize
you're one of my favorite bits, and something that you have openly admitted to is being one of your best bits, even though you're getting kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
Is one of the funniest stories of all time.
Wait, which one?
Tummy Thick Thighs.
Tummy Thick Thighs. So the thing is, I'm not sick of that.
Story
I'm not sick of. You're right. But in my head, I'm like, oh, that's not a story. It's just a joke. But you're right. It is all stories. I didn't realize I was doing stories until I started posting content, and then people would comment and they'd be like, oh my God, you're such a good storyteller. You're my favorite storyteller on this app. And I was like, I'm a comedian. I'm doing jokes. What are you guys not? Because I also think stories don't translate the same to on stage. I don't know if you felt this way, but because I feel like in New York, you have to be so punchy.
We've
you have
talked
to be
about this
so
on the show.
hit. And I did comedy in Barcelona in December.
Barcelona.
And everybody in Barcelona was like, you're so New York. New York comics, it's every 10 seconds there's a laugh. And I was like, yeah, because everybody is able to do that. It's really competitive.
It's a skill that we have to acquire.
You have to have laugh. That is why I am on stage. And I think with stories, there's more of a lull. So the stuff I started doing on social media was things I had written out that I was like, this is funny as a funny story. And it never worked on stage because in my head, I was like, there's too much lull in it. But now that I'm doing it more online and people are liking it, I'm like, you can have lulls on stage. And I didn't used to think you could
So I love that you brought this up, and my listeners have heard this, but the abbreviated version, first
Sure.
time I did the industry room, I get a call from the booker because they give you
Classic.
feedback.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
And it was, you're a storyteller. You're kind of a storyteller on stage. Because I'm from the South where
Yeah.
we tell stories.
Sure.
That's very much part of the
Sure.
culture. And I said, thank you so much. It took me a very long time to find my voice. I'm glad you can see that.
Yeah.
And his response was, that's not a compliment.
Oh.
To your point.
Yeah.
He was making the point that it has to be bang, bang, bang,
Yeah,
bang,
yeah.
bang.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. He said, New York comedy, it's got to be rapid fire, laugh, 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 laugh.
Yes.
But I had gone the opposite way. Getting started in the South, I had gotten
Sure.
so comfortable with like the come on this
Y'all,
journey
I'm
with
gonna tell you a
me.
yarn about.
I'm gonna spin this yarn,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
There gonna be a couple of tags, but we are just gonna go
We're
slow.
just here for the ride, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna go low and slow on this, like we're
Mhm.
smoking a ham, baby.
Mhm.
So to your point, I told a friend of
Sure.
mine that, and I was really upset.
Sure.
And he goes, hey, man, I just was on a world tour with someone who's also a storyteller. We were doing arenas. It was Tom Segura.
Sure.
He goes,
Yeah.
so kind of like, I'm no Tom, but he was basically saying, like, you could tell the booker to follow, like,
Yeah.
you figure out what you do and then do that.
No, that's a good.
But to your point, there is such an uncomfortableness, an uncomfortability when you're on stage and you're not getting laughs
Yeah,
because
the
you're
silence.
setting something
Yeah.
up. And over time, we do get more comfortable in the silence, but I'm guilty of it. I've taken all my stories
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of them were in the one-man show and they're very long
Sure.
form, and I condensed them way down to be like bang, bang, bang. So I'm
Right.
still telling stories,
Yeah.
but now they are much more condensed, which you have with the dinosaur bit, because it's so funny, but you have found a way to be like tag, 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 tag.
Which I think is what you have to do to tell the stories
Mhm.
on stage, is
Yeah.
to just be like when I first started, I was like, oh, I have all these funny stories. This is what I'll do for stand up. And like, at first, I just don't think you're good enough at writing to be able to be like I would be like, oh, when I tell this story at a party, people are like peeing their pants laughing. I'm so funny.
Yeah.
And then I get up and do that on stage, and it's like, it's not the same thing.
It's not.
And then you have to get so much better at writing and stand up before you're able to like be like, oh, like there's so many, because I've been doing stand up now almost 4 years. And like there's now like jokes that I would have wanted to do when I started that I'm like, oh, well, now I can revisit that.
Mhm.
Like that bit I have about the guy jerking off in my hair on the subway. Not to completion, by the way, if you haven't seen me do this joke. No one has ever successfully jerked off into my hair on the subway, but many have tried. And he
I love the tag in that bit. I'm not gonna let him do it on my face.
right? Like that tag is so silly because it's like whether people get it or not, like to me, I think that's like one of the funniest things I've ever written. And like it's so people either really get it or they're like, what?
Well, and I like it because it's the like you're coming at it obviously from a female perspective.
Sure.
Because Shane has a very funny bit
Yeah.
where Gillis, where he talks about, he's like, everyone thinks it's going to be cool, and
Yeah.
then you do it.
Yeah.
But it's from the male perspective of like you're
Right.
standing over the person you love, and you're
For the
like,
listener,
come
I have
on,
a
get
joke
up.
about a guy trying to comb in my hair on the subway, and I say like, "Oh, I stood up because it's like you're not going to come on my face. Like you're a stranger. How would I know if it's your birthday?" and like,
And I love the obviously the different perspective coming at it from and not coming at it from like, because you come at it from a funny angle. It's not like, oh, this is egregious, this is disgusting. You're
it's
kind of
like, it's like, of course it's not your
I'm
birthday.
open to it,
but
it's
please,
not-
sir, there's rules for when you're allowed to come on my face, obviously. And
we
something,
live in a civilized society.
something I've never done, by the way. I've never
But it's
participated
just
in.
so funny.
But
And-
it's so hit or miss whether that gets a laugh or not.
Yeah.
Like but I think that's the thing why I didn't know I was a storyteller, is because I was like, well, that's a joke.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just a story with like, I feel like doing stand up to me when I was first doing it, I was like, it kind of feels like, you tell a story at a party and you tell it. Sometimes you tell it like, and you're like, oh, that part was really funny. That part was really funny. Clearly, I should have been a comic this whole time because I'm clearly thinking this insane way.
yeah.
But like, where you're like, doing stand up feels like telling the best, funniest version of your funny story. But like every element is the funny part.
Yeah,
Like, because you
100%.
thought about it in advance and you said, this is how I'm going to tell it. And like,
Well, and I have that problem now. And Tracy, my lovely wife, her and I get into heated disagreements, I'll
Sure.
say, because when she tells a story, obviously she's not a professional storyteller.
she's got to punch it up.
So when she tells a story, I'm kind of like, What are we doing?
So you know what's so funny? Greg, who I do my podcast with, love Greg, but Greg will be like, "You're such a bad storyteller," and I'm like, "You're a bad listener. You're an idiot." I love him,
But you're kind of a dum dum.
I'm like, you
friend
get.
of the show. We love. Greg
I'm like,
Melly.
you get distracted, and because that was another thing when I started getting all this feedback that I was such a good storyteller. I was like, I do a podcast with someone who's like, I lose interest halfway through all your stories. I'm like,
Well,
you
so-
have ADHD. That's not my fault.
Yeah, that's the thing is because I'm an empath by nature, so I will be invested.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes, like Tracy, we text throughout the day, obviously, because we're a very good communicative couple.
I can't even imagine what
but
that's like, but yeah.
sometimes she'll start to tell a story, and I go, "We've talked about
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
What
yeah.
are we doing?
Yeah, my mom and I get
We've
that.
already had
sometimes.
this conversation.
I'm like, you told me already. You already told me.
I know.
My mom also, I love my mom dearly. My mom likes to do this thing where she'll tell me she's always going first and last name in a story.
Oh yeah.
For people, I'm like, I've never met that person. Why? She's like, well, and like so and so's like, and I'm just like, you could just say their first name or
You know
no
Brennan
name at
Tassif?
all.
Brennan
yeah.
Tassif. No,
She's
I
like,
don't
well,
know.
then
Yeah,
I was
well-
with Brennan Tassif, and he was saying, and it's like, I've never met that person.
Just say my friend. That works too.
yeah, like.
So it is. I want to talk about this because since the last time you were on before. We talked about getting into stand up. We talked about some of your drinking stories.
Sure.
The open bar one is still one of my favorite
Oh, I'm
stories. I
glad.
think you should tell that on stage, but
Oh,
I'm
maybe I
not. I
will.
would never give unsolicited advice to
No,
another
this
comic.
is advice. I'll
But
do it.
my favorite part about it was then I came on Hill to Die On.
Yeah.
And I told Greg that you were on my show, and of course his first reaction was, "What did you guys fucking talk about?"
Yeah.
And I was like, Grace actually has quite a few drinking stories. And he was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, she gets after it."
It's funny because like he and I are very good friends, but we're newer friends. Like, I mean, it's weird because I only been doing stand up again for like 4 years, so it's like a lot of my comedy friends I haven't known that long.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, when I was in college, I used to drink a lot, and like I honestly, even when I first started stand up, I was drinking a lot. And then in 2024, like beginning of 2024, I cut back significantly.
Mhm.
But Greg met me. Greg and I probably met in 2023, maybe.
Mhm.
And like, you know, I was definitely drinking, but we didn't become close friends until like, yeah, I would say we probably became closer. We became really close friends when we started doing the podcast. Like we
Well,
were
yeah.
friends before.
And then
but
there
we
was
weren't-
the party
weren't tight.
that the party that you guys were at together is the reason how the podcast was born.
Yes.
Where you guys got into that argument
Yeah.
about
It was
could
a
you
show,
take
but
on-
yeah.
Oh, it was a show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Greg and Jack used to have a show.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Laurie Edwards is the other producer of our podcast.
Yep.
Also
Also
very funny comedian
friend of this podcast.
and has been on the pod.
Yeah.
See, you got all the good people.
I love
You got
it.
all the stars. We got to get her as a repeat.
She's on the list.
Hell yeah. She and Greg used to have a show. Did the show.
New
and we
Kids.
stayed after. Yes.
New Kids Comedy.
And we chatted forever about this big argument about if push came to shove, fight and kill a bobcat.
Life on the line.
And like, obviously I could. Duh.
Obviously.
Greg hates women and thinks I couldn't.
But that's how the show was born.
That's how the show was born.
And so I find it, and I know we talked about this on the last episode, but I do find it fascinating because, again, when you have a podcast with somebody,
Yeah.
you talk about specific things, or you have guests on and you talk
Sure.
to the guests, but
Yeah.
you don't really. Like when I did The Power of How with Matt Fulshron and Daniel Torado,
Sure.
both very funny comedians.
Sure.
I had known Matt forever.
Sure.
Matt and I are very close, and I was a fan of his before we ever started working together.
Right.
And he had started doing podcasts like in 2010 when podcasts were just becoming a
Sure,
thing.
sure.
So I knew a ton about Matt, but Matt didn't know a ton about me at the
It's
time.
weird. Yeah.
And Daniel, Matt knew as comedy friends.
Sure.
But again, podcasting is so different because you just for an hour are just talking about stuff
so
depending
different.
on what the podcast is about. So for that show, because we didn't have guests, we just talked about each other.
Yeah.
And it is very revealing because you're like, oh, I didn't know this about you
Yeah.
or
Like
that
what?
about
That's
you.
like,
or...
yeah.
But because of the nature of your show, when I told Greg that you had all these party stories, he was like, what?
Yeah. He was, I was like, well, the thing is like, yeah, I'm just like, dude, how do you not know this? But then it's like, yeah, I guess we never talk about it.
Yeah, why
Like,
would
it's
you have
like,
talked about
yeah,
it?
it's not really.
It started with you guys talking about a bobcat, and then the show became.
Yeah, we talk about crazy shit, but we don't talk about like. We'll talk about like family stuff a lot because
Mhm.
he and I both are from big families. Like we both are one of 4 kids, and like, you know, very Catholic family, whatever. So we talk about that dynamic a lot. But yeah, I'll never because Greg's honestly not a big drinker.
Yeah.
Like he does drink sometimes, and it's funny because I'll notice when he's drunk, and I'll be like, That's weird.
Who's this guy? I've had it happen, and I talked about it on the show before, but I've had it happen where I've been at a hang with comics.
Yeah.
And obviously being sober as long as I have, sometimes my radar is down.
Yeah.
Because comics can also be very outgoing and gregarious, or at least put on that front.
Yeah.
Like I'm an introvert by nature, but if I'm around people, I'm fucking Jerry Maguire. I'm hot, baby.
Yeah.
And I've had full-on conversations where it's taken me 5 to 7 minutes to be like, oh man, you're fucking hammered. You're not going to remember this at all.
Yeah. Or I'm like, this person's being so weird. And then I'm like, oh, they're blackout drunk. I usually can.
You're shit-faced.
It depends how well I know the person. If I know them really well, like Jacqueline, for example, love her. When I show up at a party and Jacqueline's like been there before me, I'm like, oh, Jacqueline's having fun here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And like, cause yeah, whether or not I drink currently is kind of up for debate at all times.
Okay.
So it's like, I took a long break in 2024.
Yeah, last time you were on the show, you had talked about taking.
Because when was the last time I was on? Was it last spring?
Yeah,
So like a year ago.
You had mentioned that you had either were planning on taking a break or you were in the middle of your break.
I think I had already started because I took a break in January 2024. The goal was to lose weight, and I did. I lost like 25 pounds from not drinking because I used to. The thing is, it's not like I was like ruining my life with alcohol. Like I certainly can have alcohol in my life and it's not like a problem, but it's not like it. I was like, I had been wanting to lose weight for like ever, not to be toxic. You're not allowed to, God forbid a woman want to lose weight. It's illegal.
Just being skinny and being attractive are not.
They're not, but
exclusive.
it was one of those things where like, I think for me, it was like, cause also it's like, okay, if you lose weight when you immediately stop drinking like beer every day, it's like, yeah, you probably were meant to not.
Well, and
drink beer every
the
day.
thing with drinking is, and this is something that I talk to people about all the time, especially in sobriety. One, it's super high in sugar because you need it for the fermentation process, and two, it's empty calories.
And also, like the amount of Taco Bell I'm getting when I'm drunk,
which I have a whole bit about.
It's like when I go to Taco Bell sober, I can be like, this is a normal amount of Taco Bell.
Oh, see, sober, I'm like, if I go to fast food just because I'm starving and it's all that's open, I'm like, you're a piece of shit.
Oh, really?
They should hang you from a bridge.
Oh, no, I'm still at Taco Bell and I'm like, this place is a fucking awesome place. I love it. One of the times I wasn't drinking, I was out with a friend, because this is another thing that's weird. And I don't know if you've noticed this. When I'm not drinking, it surprises me if I'm hanging out with someone. Sometimes I'm like, if I was hanging out with someone and I am in an era where I am drinking, my drinking is it's seasonal. But like if I'm with someone who's not drinking, I'm not going to get hammered. Like if you and I hang out and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll have a glass of wine. I would have one glass of wine or I'd have nothing. Like unless I'm with someone who's like, let's split a bottle of wine. And then I'm like, yeah.
Let's get fucked
But
up.
I'm not going to like have, like, I have a lot of friends where I'll hang out with them and I won't be drinking and they'll be like, that's cool. I'm going to have a glass of wine. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. But then they'll have like a bottle of wine and I'll be like, you've had 6 drinks. I've had none. Like this, we are now having very different hangs.
The dynamic is shifting.
Yeah. And it's like, historically, I have drank with them. So I'm like, I get why you went into this thinking I would. But like, it's just, to me, there's like less of a reading the room. But I went one time with a friend. She and I were going out. I wasn't drinking at the time. And she was like, I'm just going to get a bottle of wine. I'm not going to finish it. We can bring it home. She finished this bottle of wine at dinner, obviously. I'm sober. And on the way home, we like went to a bar or whatever. Then we were going to Taco Bell. I get like 2 things, black bean crunchwrap supreme and a spicy potato taco. That's my order. And she spends, I'm watching her at the kiosk hammered. She somehow spends $57 at Taco Bell.
Way too much.
Which, if you know Taco Bell, still one of the most affordable fast food restaurants.
The prices have gone up.
They've gone up,
that much.
but it's still it's challenging to spend over $40 at Taco Bell.
The other night, I had to, in a panic, I went to McDonald's because I forgot to. A lot of times, I forget to eat.
Okay,
and
can't relate. But yeah,
I know Tracy gets so mad at me when I say that.
To that.
But I had a lot going on that day, so I wake up in the morning. I don't eat before the gym. I come home and I have a protein shake, so I have that after the gym.
Sure.
But then I forgot to eat real food.
Yeah.
And so then I get off of work, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna die.
Yep. What time do you get off work?
Normally around like 10 or 11.
Okay, yeah.
Which
so
already my rule is, especially before the special, I was like, don't eat after 9 under any circumstances at all ever.
Sometimes you gotta.
Because I wanted to lose weight for the special.
Sure.
But the special's over.
Yeah.
So this was like 2 nights ago. And I was like, all right, I'm going to grab some McDonald's.
Sure.
But to your point, I spent $14.
Yeah.
And still, it was so much food where afterwards, because this is also a problem that I have. Afterwards, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to go home and throw up now because I was so
Chic.
full that I was like,
Okay, me in college
this
coded.
is disgusting. Well, I had a bit about it. I haven't done it in a while, but now that the special's done and I have to start mining new material, I'm probably going to bring it back. But it's one of these things where growing up, everyone was like, puke and rally. Like, you throw up and you can party harder.
Yeah.
Then I got sober, but if I eat too much food, I'm like, puke and rally. And everyone's like,
bulimia.
Yeah. And that's the tag. Everyone goes, no, you're bulimic.
Yeah. As a retired bulimic, you're bulimic.
Well, and that's the thing is like, because I can't stand not feeling good.
I totally get that.
So I'm very much, and I threw up so much when I was in my alcoholism and drug addiction because it's just something you do as a reaction to be like, let's just feel better.
It feels good. Like when I used to be bulimic, I would eat too much. I would eat too much to the point of full. Then I'd be like, well, now I got to get really full to make this worth it.
Yeah.
And then I would.
It releases endorphins because
it feels so good.
It's like a workout, and a lot of people call me crazy.
Yeah, no,
but it is. Because you had the strain you put your body through to throw up.
Yeah.
Your brain releases endorphins. Your entire core is jacked to the
absolutely
gills,
engaged. Like you are locked in. It feels awesome. And people, it's so funny because I'll talk to people. Sometimes it'll come up and people will be like, that's crazy. Like I could never be bulimic. I hate throwing up. And I'm like, you just don't know it like I do.
Yeah.
Like it feels awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it in many years, but yeah, it's
you got a lot more time on me.
Yeah. No, I had to stop because I was like, there was one time where this is gross. One time I like made myself throw up and I was like, this is probably 2020, I think is the last time I like really was doing bulimia. And
I wish I could make that the title of the
practicing
episode.
bulimia.
Doing bulimia.
Practicing
in
bulimic.
my bulimia era.
Yeah, I go through a lot of phases. Sometimes I'm drinking, sometimes I'm bulimic. Those are always overlapping. But I feel like one time I threw up and I was like, I felt like a twinge in my stomach where I was like, oh, this will kill me eventually. And I was like, you have to stop. That's not.
You can feel almost like an ulcer type situation
it's so
where
bad
you're like,
for you to do it.
Oh, this is not good. Yeah. And because of all my concussions and stuff, sometimes I would do it and I would see spots like I was about to have a seizure and I was like, oh, you need to rein this in.
Yeah. No, it's one of those. And now like the thought of doing it sounds awful.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wouldn't. The only thing where it's useful is when you are like stomach bug sick and you're like, I can absolutely vomit on. Okay, this is a drinking story actually that I forgot about. One time when I was in college, I'm very competitive. And when I was in college, I used to drink a ton. We had these like, I worked for the student-run grocery store on campus, which was a joke, obviously. It was a bunch of, like, 20-year-olds who ran a company. Hilarious. But we went on these, like, retreats, and a company retreat where we'd run a house in, like, Shenandoah and, like, go get absolutely hammered for, like, a whole weekend. It was awesome. But one of the times...
You went to school in
DC,
yeah.
Yeah. Like, all comedians, I went to Georgetown, and I...
So many comedians are so smart.
Thank you for saying that about me.
Of course, Georgetown's a good
I'm about to tell you about some stupid shit that I did. So many smart people are also so fucking stupid. Is the thing.
Yeah, you try to steal booze at an open bar.
Yeah, that was there was a long line.
Go back and listen to Grace's first episode.
But I was at this thing, and I remember there was a boy that I had a crush on for all of college, and I wanted to impress him. And I was like, what's a skill I have? Hammered. And I was like, I can throw up on command really well. And I was like, made him have a trig pulling contest with me. And I obviously immediately threw up because I was like, I do this shit every day.
Yeah.
I can like look at my uvula or whatever it's called and throw up. Like, it's fine.
Same.
And he was like,
if I look at a toilet a certain way, I'm like, oh,
same, which is useful when you're actually sick.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you're gonna throw up anyway.
It is interesting because sometimes I meet people like Tracy, my wife, is one of them. I have an ex who's like this, who are like, I hate throwing up so much that I would rather be sick in bed for 2 days than just get it out.
I would rather fix it.
I'm the opposite. Yeah. Like as soon as I'm like, let's just figure this out right now.
Yes. No, and I can literally like the smell of being near a toilet. I will throw up immediately. It's awesome.
Same.
But I was like, this poor guy is like trying to make himself pull trig in like the driveway of this fucking rental house. And I'm like,
you don't even have to use your hands.
I was just like,
you're like, watch this.
And then I was like, the thought process of like doing that to impress a guy
That's
is
insane.
Like where the fact that I'm so single, it's like, yeah, obviously you have no idea like what is like that. I was like, this will get him. I was like,
This will get him. Watch. I have a horrible gag
Yeah,
reflex I
this-
can throw up on command. That'll get him.
he'll love this. Yeah. So
I'll make you feel so big. Watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was really good. And that's kind of a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not bulimic anymore. And whether or not I drink is constantly up for debate. So
Well,
it's-
let's I wanted to talk about it because we started to kind of talk about it and
Yeah.
then kind of pivoted. What
Yeah.
happened with the storytelling?
Oh yeah.
So we kind of went on a little
I
journey.
know. The last time I was here, I was like, we did not get enough time to talk because it was like,
Yeah, we kind of did it in
I
a
love
time
talking to you
crunch.
also. So
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
We so you have blown up since the last time you were on social
Oh,
media.
thank you.
So the last time you were on, we were having the same comedic debate that I have with a lot of comedians, which is like, I don't fucking know the algorithm. I don't know
Sure.
what's going on. This sucks. Posting sucks. This whole thing sucks.
Yeah,
And then since then, you have figured out your wheelhouse of the algorithm.
sure.
So let's just, in summation,
Yeah.
you are a storyteller. You have accepted now that you are a storyteller.
Sure.
And then you threw in a talent that you have while you tell stories, which is
Knitting and crocheting.
You
Yeah.
crochet and
Yeah.
knit
Yeah. who
while
knew?
you're telling stories.
Yeah.
And that apparently is like when they put a video game playthrough on the bottom of someone talking.
Literally, yes.
It's you doing the knitting
Completely.
motion
Yeah.
kind of locks people in.
It's blown my mind that has worked so well.
And
I'm like,
now-
what? You guys like this? But
Because people have such bad attention spans.
Yeah.
And not to disparage from
no.
the stories you
I
tell,
agree with you though.
but they need to be watching something
Yes.
while they listen to
Completely.
something.
It's I've had so many people be like, it feels like I'm on FaceTime with you because you're doing something else. There's a guy who someone compared me to who washes dishes while he tells jokes. I think
I've
he's an
seen
LA
this.
based
Yeah.
comic. It's like Dan or Dave or something. He was on that show Funny AF, whatever. Someone told me, they were like, "Oh, you're like that guy." Like, and I'd never seen his content, but then I was like, I went and watched it and I was like, "Oh, I totally get why you yeah."
Yeah.
It's more engaging than just like, especially because what I do is so long form.
Mhm.
Like my videos are all over 2 minutes long. People are saying,
Which in our world is an eternity.
yes,
Like Josh Johnson, love him to death. Very sweet to me when I first
Long
moved to New
videos.
York. But sometimes I'll be on the train and I'm in Astoria, so it's above
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to see the
I'm
end
not
of
gonna
this by the
finish
time I
this.
get
I'm gonna be
underground.
in Manhattan and it's over. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and find this. This is the whole thing.
I don't have
Yeah,
to save it. I'm
Yeah.
never coming back to this.
No.
But yeah, because his videos are like 7 minutes
yeah.
long.
No, I can't. I don't think I could pull off. I've done some longer ones where I talk about like, you know, like knitting stuff. Like that's not jokes. That I'll just be like, okay, here's some thoughts of you, because I have so many people who are like. Now I have so many people who follow me who are like in the fiber arts community as well.
Oh, really? I found this interesting because the niche thing is something that a lot of comics, me included, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is what you have to last. So I had a video go viral for me.
Sure.
Not viral in the sense of like millions of views,
Sure.
but it got like 60,000 views.
Sure.
I got almost 1,000 followers from it, which is a great return
That's
on
a great
investment.
return on a video.
Because normally it gets 1 million views and you might get 1,000 followers. This one only got 60,000, but because it was talking, I was going on. It was my going away show in Jacksonville, and I was going off on people who don't tip,
Yeah.
and it was so everyone who sent it to their friends were servers and
Yeah.
people who work in restaurants.
Totally.
So they immediately got the video and then followed.
You were like, this guy he's advocating for our community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like oh, watch this video, it's funny. It
Yeah.
was like, watch this video. This guy is like saying something to us
Yeah. This
about
guy's
being
our leader.
servers.
Yeah.
And so that's why the return was so good.
Yep.
But I say that to say now when I post a video, people will be like, where's the restaurant stuff?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I've
yeah,
painted myself
that is,
into a
no,
corner.
but you haven't because honestly, and I don't know what I'm talking about because I didn't start.
I've only
having-
been famous for a few months.
well now I get recognized. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, you do.
It
You're
blows-
famous now.
It blows my mind. I was at a coffee shop in my new neighborhood on Monday, and I was unplugging because I didn't have Wi-Fi in my new apartment, and I was like unplugging my laptop, whatever. And there's a woman being like, "Oh, I think she's getting up." She was trying to find a seat for her like older mom, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just like, I have to do like one more thing, but I'm leaving in like 5 minutes." And when I turned around to say that to her, she goes, "Oh my god, I just watched your video," and I was like, "Oh, this is so weird." Like, And it is weird, but it's cool.
It's super. I get recognized from the Hannah Burner stuff that I did years ago.
Yeah.
And I'll have people be like, I know you from somewhere.
It's
and
weird.
depending on the demographic, I'll be like, are you a fan of Hannah Burner? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, Giggly Squad, I love her. And I go,
It's so
that's where you know me from.
weird. Like, but I mean, it's nice, but it's also, you're like, I also think it happens now more than people say it too.
Yeah.
Like, I think more people are recognizing
You're like,
me.
everybody fucking knows.
Well, I also, because I knit on the train too.
Mhm.
So I'm like, if you've watched my videos and then you see me knitting in public, you're probably like,
Oh,
I
that's,
also have bright red hair. So it's
Yeah.
like,
you're the Red Wolf.
I'm the red wolf. Like, if you've put together like, oh, that girl knitting looks familiar. It's like, yeah, you know where I'm from. Like, but
Her head's on fire.
I know. And now I feel like I can't do not that I have like, I certainly do not have like a truly famous amount of followers. It's just been I probably have 10 times the followers that I had in like February, which is a big jump.
Which is probably 5 or 10 times more than you had last time you were on the show.
Yeah. Because
So
I
it's
had I had around 2,000 followers for a long time, like in the 2,000-ish range. And now I have like 27 something, where it's like, that is a big jump.
Yeah.
And it's happened very quickly. It was like from February to
I remember looking at,
now.
because I would just see your videos because I
Yeah.
follow you, so they would just pop up, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then one time I saw a video and I went to like it, and I was like, that's a lot of fucking likes. And then I clicked on your profile and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I was like, I also was like, what the fuck? When did that happen? Like, that's okay. But yeah, it's exciting and good. But yeah, having the niche is like, I can't believe how lucky I am that I invented a content niche at this late in the content game. I'm like, the fuck? How did I figure this shit out? Like,
And you're killing it.
it was my friend Nick Hopping, who runs
Shout out
Flophouse
Nick
Comedy
Hopping,
Club.
yeah.
He's very funny. I knit a lot, like,
Waiting.
yeah, and like I sit around and knit. I do it at open mics. Like, I do it like when I'm just hanging out. I like it, to go back to me being so disordered. It's a really good way to not either double screen or eat while you're doing, like, because I'm someone who I need to be doing something. So like watching TV, like during COVID, I knit growing up. Like as a kid, I was always, my mom knits, so I learned as a kid, did it all the time. And then when I was in like college, high school, I kind of stopped. And then during COVID, like, I already knew how to do it, so I just like got back into it, because I would sit at home. And when I first moved to the city, I lived in the apartment I just moved out of, but we had this like communal box of wine. So it's like we would sit around and we would like drink from our communal wine box, and we would sit on the couch and like watch movies, because it was COVID. We had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I was like, if I'm sitting and watching something, I need to have like a drink, a snack, something. Like, I need an extra thing. So I was like, why am I drinking all this fucking wine or like eating all these snacks? And then I was like, okay, if I bring back knitting, then I'll do that when I watch TV.
You have to be engaged.
Yeah. And like, it's become like, and when I started doing stand-up, knitting really fell off, like, because I can get really obsessive about it. It's really addicting, because you're watching this thing, like, it's so compelling to keep doing it.
Yeah, and it's cool in your videos because you'll show your progress.
Yeah.
On what,
Well, that's the other reason I think people follow. Like, I think the follow rate is higher on my stuff because people want to come back and see
what's going on with the
when is it
baklava.
done. Yeah. Like, when is she gonna make this fucking shirt I've been making for like 2 months because I made it the wrong size. It's all bullshit, but whatever.
Your tank top?
Yeah, my tank top. My tank top's been taking me forever.
I remember that video.
I have my
where
tank
you're
top
like,
in my bag.
everyone keeps saying how small this tank top is.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet.
It's crazy. People are like, what is that, a tank top for a Barbie? And I'm like, no, it's not a not finished tank top.
No, I'm single and it's summertime in New York.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry, it's a sexy little tank top, bitch. That's
that
like,
I'm knitting.
That I'm knitting.
Because when I think sexy, I think knitting.
More and more people are. Well, I guess knitting's also having like a
Resurgence.
yes, because I think it's a reaction to like.
Tracy learned to crochet when we met.
Really?
She had a student that was really good at it and taught her how to crochet.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I like knowing when people picked it up, because
She
I
picked
think
it up in her
it's-
30s, yeah.
like it's like a, and people ask me all the time. It's funny too, because like, it's kind of, I think, similar to like, you know, people who like grow up speaking like
Different languages.
Spanish,
Mhm.
and they're like, but then when you like learn it in school, you learn all like the grammar and like the like rules, and like people who grew up speaking Spanish, they could speak it fluently, but sometimes you'll be like, oh, do you know about like the present, the
Yeah.
pluscuamperfecto? And
it
it's like
happens
they
to
don't.
us with English all the time.
Yeah, it's just like you don't know, but I think because I've
People are like,
been,
you're using that wrong. And I go, go fuck yourself.
yeah, I know how to use English. Thank
Yeah.
you. But it's like that with knitting, where
I don't know
there's
if you know this. I'm a wordsmith.
yeah,
It's
sorry,
kind of
I'm
my
kind of a
thing.
storyteller. I'm a genius. But people will be like I'll watch knitting videos of people who've clearly learned it as an adult, and they do it like right. And I'm like, I learned this from my mom, who's like, I don't know, when there's a hole, you kind of just move past it. And like,
Yeah.
so now there's people, like, it's weird to have built my niche around something that I've done my whole life. I am good at, but like the technique I use is like really different than like.
Well, Tracy had a student teacher, so she'll
Yeah,
get
see,
like
you learn
she'll
from
get like these, like, people will give us boxes of like crochet
yarn,
stuff,
yeah.
and not even just yarn, but there'll be like a whole setup with instructions, and she's like, "Oh, I don't crochet this way,"
Oh, interesting.
because she's like, "I was taught a different way to do
learned
it."
from a human child, so
Yeah.
I can't learn it from an instruction book.
Yeah, because it's just different. Because it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is the proper technique to use," and she's like, "I don't do it that way."
No, there's weird like. There's all this shit like you're supposed to make like a gauge swatch so your shit like fits you correctly. I'm always like, that sounds like a lot of work. I'll just make it.
I'll
and
just eyeball
hope
it
for the best. Like,
and then make it for a Barbie.
yeah. Well, that's why this fucking tank top's taking so long. I made it too big and then I had to go back. It's all, you know.
So let's talk about it. So
Yeah.
then this happens, and now have you found doing the storytelling while you're knitting on social media and that taking off? Because you had mentioned earlier before we started recording, you had met with some representation people and stuff like that. Has that kind of pushed people towards like, oh, you're a content creator now, you're not a comedian?
Like,
not in your mind, but in their mind.
I don't know, honestly. Like, it's interesting because I get comments because most of what I'm doing in the videos is bits that I wrote that never quite worked on stage. Because, like we were saying, they're longer form, they're slower, there's more lulls, and or bits I stopped doing, or bits I'm thinking of doing that I'm still working out.
And full transparency, you're saying bits, and I understand this as a storyteller. You're saying bits, but they're actually stories that you were like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah, but
that have happened.
and again,
and then,
but it's like I don't even think of them as stories.
I
Like
know.
it's been such an identity shift for me to be like, so many people have said the story thing. Like bookers have said it to me. They're like, you know, you're such a good storyteller. Like, and I was like, what do you guys? No, I'm doing jokes.
I mean, I understand,
but they're right. Like
yeah.
it is like a.
Well, my whole opening for the special is like those 3 bits. You know, look like a cop,
Yep.
DUI lessons, national anthem. That used to be, because that happened from 3 different arrests.
Yeah.
That used to be 3 very long stories. Just getting so like the tags that I do now.
Yeah.
Used to be the punchline to like a 45-second story.
Yeah.
For each one, and then obviously being a comic, I was like, all right, we're gonna
I'll crush
boil this down
yeah.
all into one thing.
What's the bones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but for you, when you're doing the knitting, you don't have to do that.
No, you can just be like expansive, which is really fun. And then you can just say like sometimes, because it's funny because people comment like their favorite, they quote you in the comments. So people comment like, oh, when you say this, and I'm like, that's so funny. That would never have gotten a laugh on stage.
Yeah.
But like,
and it would never occur to you that that's a tag.
Yeah.
Because it's
just
not.
like, sometimes it's just the way I like the word I picked there. They're like, and it's like, that's hilarious.
Well, and also comedy, and we say this all the time, comedy in its rawest form is incredibly subjective because it's all based on your relation and relativity to you.
Totally.
So there's sometimes, like Drew Tessier, a friend of the pod, he has a hilarious joke, but in the joke, he says Colonel Tessier because he's talking about his dad.
Yeah.
And growing up where my grandfather was a Green Beret and I like know about like Army culture.
Sure.
Every time he talks about being gay and then his dad, and then he goes, yeah. And then, you know, because he's a gay guy from the South and then his father, Colonel Tessier, it just, for some reason, triggers my laugh response.
Yeah.
But he's always like, nobody
really
else laughs at that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a tag. He just says Colonel Tessier because he's talking about his dad. But to me, I'm like, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard.
It is so funny. What are the lines that like people like? Yeah, like it's like it really is.
I have that bit where I talk about putting my head through a guy's window in the special.
I love that bit. It's so funny.
And in the bit, I go, I just didn't like the cut of his jib, which is just something I said as a throwaway thing the very first time I told the story. Sometimes I do it and I just keep going. Sometimes I say cut of his jib and the room erupts.
It's
and I'm
so
like,
random.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like
This
why do you
happened
guys like this?
at the special taping? The first show, nothing. Second show, I had to stop because so many people were laughing. And I was
bizarre.
like, what is happening?
Like you'll just be like, wait, that line? Like I was just saying that to get to the next bit.
And
like,
sometimes you have a line that almost always works, and then you do
then
it and nobody
doesn't.
laughs.
So weird.
But they can tell you pause for a reason, and you're like, oh shit, go.
In my Subway jerking off bit, I have a line that I've added where I'm talking about the guy who tried to jerk from my hair. He also was not fully erect. So I have all these bits that are like, being like, hey buddy, listen, like it's okay. This happens to a lot of guys. Like it's not a big deal. And I added this new line where I say like, it's cool. We can do other stuff. Like, and like, it doesn't ever do well at shows. But my friend Olivia Stadler, she's a very funny comedian.
Shout out
She's
Olivia.
always like, she hosted a show I was on the other night, and I did it like for the first time. She was like, that new tag is so funny. And I was like, I heard your laugh from the back of the room, you laughing so hard. She texted me about it like twice in the last week to be like, that new tag is so funny. And I've done it like almost every night this week. And I'm like,
Nobody
likes it the way
Nobody
you like
agrees with
it.
you.
Like, and I know it's funny. I agree with her.
Well, and also, if you've been in a because I've been in those situations where it's like, it's okay, we can do other stuff.
Like,
which is why it's funny to me and to you and to Olivia, but other people are. And that's the other thing too.
Hasn't everyone been in that situation? Come on.
You would think so, but when it comes to especially sex stuff on stage, people can get very like.
They're like, my dick's always hard.
Yeah,
I've never.
Very judgy. I mean, I talk about it in my new stuff. I talk about like I walk around with Blue Chews in my bag in case my wife is like, "Hey, you wanna?" And it's like, "All right, well, I'm ready. I'm ready to go."
That's the plan.
But that's like a thing where, and I have discovered doing this show, which you have too, doing podcasts. It's like. Sometimes people are so weird about what they don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm an open book. Because God forbid, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, my son is going to be like, I know exactly who my dad was.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and to your point earlier about now being recognized and stuff, there is a certain vulnerability to it when people don't like you.
Yes.
And now I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've had people who have cut clips from this podcast and then done reaction videos like, this guy's been doing comedy for this long and look how many views are in this video. Wait. This guy sucks.
Oh, but not people who've been on the podcast.
No.
I thought you were saying someone like me would then turn around and be like, look at this fucking loser who had me on his podcast. I was like, oh my God.
No, these are like random trolls.
Okay, I see.
But it does open you up because we think we just put something out and it goes into the ether. And then when people like it, we're like, oh, that's cool. And then you get the mean comments here and there.
Yeah.
But for someone to like screen grab a section of the video
it's weird.
And then do their own reaction video to it, I'm kind of like, well, thank you so much. You think this is going to move your needle.
Wow,
but also,
I'm a celeb. Like, I had a video that I put out last summer because I started trying to do front facing last like right around a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 videos that did really well. And one was about, I met this guy when I was in Costa Rica and we'd like, the joke was basically like, I went up to him and I was like, oh, hey, like, you know, I'm Grace. What's your name? And he was like, Jake. And I was like, oh, like, where are you from? And he was like, the US, whatever. Like, we had this whole thing where I was like, basically asking where he was from and he was being really vague about it.
Yeah.
And acting like he was like, I'm from the States. And I was kind of like, yeah, no, same, obviously. And he got like so offended. He was like, you can tell I'm American. Like, I'm so offended, all this shit. And like, and I was like, well, where in the US are you from? And he was like, one of the ones on the East Coast. And it was clear to me in the moment that it was not a romantic interaction. I did not approach this man. I was not being like, hey, I want to talk to you. Like, hey man, like I was not trying to chat him up. We got paired together in this like other foreigner kind of meetup thing. Like, and it was just like, I was being polite and he was just I was trying to make fun of him for being like, kind of like pick me American, where I was like, bro, you're wearing Croakies. Like, I know you're from fucking Maryland. Like, I'm from New Jersey. I can figure this out.
Yeah.
You have the same accent as like my dad. Like, I know you're American. So I posted this video and overall people liked it, but so many of the comments were framing me as like borderline like a rapist. Someone called me a rape apologist. People were so angry at me for like harassing this man and like being like, a non-answer is a no. Like, and I was like,
wow.
I was like, also, I mean, it's so shocking to me too, because it's like, one, I think people are nuts. The gender dynamic, and like at the risk of sounding like a pick me, men and women can be friends. I'm sorry. When Harry met Sally, that's over. We're friends. Like, I'm sorry. I think if you think that the only reason a man and a woman can have a relationship is because there's a sexual undercurrent, you're a fucking freak. That's crazy.
That's psychotic.
It's psychotic.
And I don't know if it's because I talk about this all the time. I don't have that like bro-y energy because I was raised, my sisters helped raise me.
Sure.
So I grew up.
Yeah, I guess you have like all sisters. I have all brothers. I'm like, this is like.
So we both have.
You're not my guy friend. You're my friend.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's weird when people differentiate gender.
Well, I do it all the time. Like, I'll be. It'll be weird because we'll be in a group setting and I'll be talking to Tracy, my wife, and I'll be like, oh yeah, Tori said this thing. And she knows Tori.
Yeah.
Tori Cole.
Sure.
Very funny comedian.
Very funny.
I'm very close with.
Big fan.
And but it will be interesting because if like other people are around, there's like this almost weird energy, especially if it's my friends that are in the room. They'll kind of be like, oh, like you just like have friends that aren't comics.
It's so weird to me. It's so like
yeah, most of my comedian friends are women.
Yeah. And it's like,
Actually, now that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it.
it's because women are awesome. That's actually, but I just think it's so weird that, and like, I'm like, you guys are so crazy that you think, at no point did I say, like, I saw this guy that I thought was cute. I
Yeah.
saw this guy that I wanted to date. Like, I saw this guy, I tried
Rape
to ask him
apologist is
out.
aggressive.
It was crazy. Like, and I had to stop reading the comments. It was people saying crazy shit to me too. They were like, one person was like, girl, like, it's okay. Like, girl, men do not want to talk to women that they don't find attractive. Like, it's okay. I get it. I'm also not conventionally attractive. And I was like, bitch, what? Like,
just off the top.
I was like,
rope.
I never, like, it was weird because I was like, the context we met was a salsa dancing class where there was an inner circle of women and an outer circle of men. And every like 90 seconds, you would switch partners. So the idea was to meet as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And he and I got paired up. And before I was like, you're going to put your hands on my waist, I was like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm Grace. What's your name?
Well, and also, this is another thing that the culture of like, don't push too hard, don't bully, all that kind of stuff is great. As someone who is bullied, and you know, I think I'm better for it, but it's very good to make people feel safe. I completely agree with that.
Totally.
But this whole like, if you're being a cryptic weirdo and I call you out on it, now I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're being a fucking weirdo.
And I'm like,
dude.
I'm not trying to dox this guy. This was all, none of it's that deep. Like, I was kind of just being like, isn't it funny that like sometimes you'll meet American abroad and they act like, you're like, I'm from like 100 miles away from where you're from, but now that we're in Costa Rica, you have to act like you're from like Paris. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, you can be from Maryland, it's fine.
And this is another weird thing, because being from Florida,
Yeah.
I get flack a lot when I tell people
Dude,
where
I'm from Jersey. Yeah, like it's
And so it is interesting because I'll be like, oh, I'm from Florida. And then people will be like, oh, I bet you're here. I bet you're glad you're in New York now. And I made a video being like, fuck off. No
Yeah.
income tax. It's summer 365. Like, you can go to fucking
Yeah.
hell. And so many people came after me being like, Florida sucks. You guys don't read books. You're homophobic. And I was like, whoa, okay.
Listen,
pump the brakes.
there's homophobic, illiterate people fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in New York
You're from
City.
Jersey.
Yeah, like, well, I will go.
Like,
You were commenting on my Nets sweatshirt when I came in.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not even really a big basketball fan, but I like the Nets because they're originally from. They were one of
New Jersey
the only
Nets.
New Jersey team we still have is the Devils.
Yeah.
But I'm a big New Jersey fan, so I'm like, yeah, I got the
Vince
jersey.
Carter.
I got the jersey. Yeah, and that's like my dad was a big Nets fan, so like Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson, that era of Nets, we were always going to like the Meadowlands to watch.
That's awesome.
But it's funny because someone the other day was like, everyone's a Knicks fan. And I was like, I'm not a Knicks fan. And she was like, "Ah." And I was like, you're from North Carolina. What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
Not everyone's a Knicks fan. Like, that's not.
People live on their own weird bubbles. And it is funny because back to the point of like when you post something, it's like you infiltrate their bubble and now you're on their time.
And they're taking it personally.
And it's like, whoa, this
Yeah.
is, we've never met before, right?
Yep. No. And it's like, you're not the guy. Like, it was a lot of like, and I love the gay community, but it was a lot of gay men commenting and being like, you're harassing men.
Well, that's hilarious because if I walk through the West Village,
Yeah. No, I was like,
I got
bro.
something to say.
Yeah. I think they were just like, it was just so weird. And I was just like, oh my God, how did you take this so like
Personally.
And like, they were so angry. They were like, this girl cannot pick up on social cues. And I was like,
They called you autistic.
yes. And they were like, and a rapist. And I was just like, I'm an autistic rapist. That's and not, and not conventionally attractive. Like, God forbid a woman. Like, it was so weird.
That's the title of the episode.
Oh my God. The other comment I get this is so mean. This is the meanest comment. And I've gotten it twice. And I tried to do a bit about this, but there's a visual component. But I've posted 2 videos where I've gotten the comment that someone has been like, this girl looks like Rocky Dennis. Which I don't know if you know who that is. I didn't either. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, it's usually when people comment I look like a celebrity, it's usually like a compliment.
Yeah.
And so I like was like, oh, I wonder who Rocky
Sophia
Dennis
Turner.
is. Yeah. I was like, oh, thank you.
Mhm.
I was like, I wonder who this is. Like, I bet it's some cool 70s rocker lady or something like that. Rocky Dennis. And I looked it up. And like, this is with no offense to Rocky Dennis. I'm sure he had a very hard life.
Already not great.
Sure, he had a very hard life because of his condition, but like he is a boy from the 1970s who had a rare genetic disorder that caused like all of the bones in his face to be like huge. He's like fully deformed. And it's like, but he also has red hair and like no eyebrows, which when I'm not wearing makeup, I have blonde eyebrows. And I opened my phone, like it's visual, so I don't even show you, but it's so awful. I was like, that's who you like. Oh my God.
Well, and this is what people on the internet just suck.
People suck.
And the best part is you'll click on their profile and it's like 2 followers or whatever.
It's like you
and
don't
you're
even have a profile picture.
Yeah.
You're gonna comment on me being ugly, like, and you're not even brave enough to show your fucking face.
You just
like,
gotta, and I say this to everybody, and you know this because you mentioned it earlier, but just reading the comments is incredibly toxic. I'm never gonna stop doing it.
It's so fun when it's good though.
Oh my God.
When they're
I've
like-
gotten away from so what I used to do is I used to respond with my full address and be
Oh,
like,
I
I live
remember
in New
this.
York
I know this
City.
about you.
Whenever you want to fucking come by,
Yeah.
you can say it to my face.
And you can't do that anymore because you're about to have a baby. Look at your full
And, well,
address. Yeah.
And also I've gained enough traction to where I realize like, oh, every video is going to have people who suck. What I do now, this
Yeah.
is super fun, is I will either respond with, I love my fans. You guys are the best.
That's so funny.
I'll be like, you guys are always keeping me honest. My fans
Yeah.
are great.
yeah.
Or I will just delete them and block them.
Yeah.
I learned that from Bert Kreischer years ago. He was talking about how whenever anyone leaves anything mean, even if they think they're being funny,
yeah.
he just deletes it. And now, years later, every social media interaction he has is positive
Yeah.
because he's weeded out he's unsubscribed to all those emails basically.
No, that's smart.
And so now it's just nice stuff, which I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's really smart. But also I kind of need the engagement.
Yeah.
I'm not famous enough to where I can
Yeah,
just
you're
start
like,
blocking
listen,
people.
I gotta get this.
Let's talk about the special.
Oh yeah, please. That's
You were
actually
there.
So fun. It was so fun. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I saw we went through they sent me the show 1 and show 2. Shout out to Grove 34 Production.
Do you have a preference?
Shout out to Lex. So everyone I wanted to get your opinion on this. So everyone came up to me after, and I was talking to Joe Isidore, a friend of mine who was at the show. He was at the first show, but you were at both.
Yeah.
You opened for both. You crushed.
Thank you.
I had
I agree.
one funny thing I do want to say.
Please.
Obviously, Tracy is one of your biggest fans. She
Love
loves your
Tracy.
comedy. After the show, she was like, I don't remember that Subway bit. And I laughed so hard.
It's new.
And I was also like, oh, yeah, you thought Grace was going to talk about fucking knitting the whole
yeah,
time?
yeah.
Bang.
It's funny because, like, as Sean was saying, even backstage, Sean Castelluccio, who did photos,
Yeah.
he was like, it's so funny. Every time you say, like, fuck, I'm always like, what the hell?
Tracy's same way. She was like, I don't remember that bit.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
go,
People are
wasn't
always
it great?"
surprised. They're like, oh, that little smiley knitting girl.
Well, when we talked about this with Greg, when he was like, you drink? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I used to fucking get after it.
yeah,
dude."
I have depth and dimension. I'm a
Yeah. So, first show was fun.
yeah.
51 people at the first show. It only seats 50, so we had to kind of
Sure.
move some stuff around. A lot of Tracy's friends. A lot of my buddy, not my buddy, my brother-in-law, Jeff, a lot of his friends.
Sure.
Not loud laughers by their own admission.
Sure.
But there were a lot more people. I was so hell-bent on getting the show, hitting the tags. I put my set list big,
Yep.
printed it out, big font. I highlighted all the transitions to know where I need, like if I look down immediately, like, okay, this is where I'm at. Put that on the stage. I hit every tag, did every joke, first show. I thought it went great. I was like, we
I
got
did
it.
too. Yeah.
Second show, there's only 38 people, a lot looser, a lot more fun, having a good time. After all the dust settled, Lex, who's the director of photography, he's the executive producer, comes up to me and he goes, second show's the primary show. And I was like, you're out of your fucking mind. It's the
Yeah.
first show. And then his response was, every comic says that.
I know exactly what you're talking about because Greg, our friend Greg, just
Yeah.
filmed his special.
June
I
18th, that's coming
I
out.
opened for him as well, and good memory also.
Well, I just saw his clip that
Oh,
he
nice.
posted about
I
it.
haven't seen it yet. Damn. I opened for him as well, and same thing. I thought the 7:30 was great. He had less people at the 7:30,
Mhm.
or maybe the 7. Maybe it was 7 and 9 as well. Anyway,
Yeah, he had a lot less people.
a lot less people at the first show, but they were big, loud laughers, and it was just clean and it was tight. And I was like, that he got it. And then the 9:30, he was very loose. He probably did an hour and a half, I think, but it was really fun. And I think he knew he got it. So he was like, and probably same with you. And I was like, I saw him recently and I was like, so it's going to be the first show. And he was like, we looked back and it's the second.
Yeah, same. So I had a grading scale 1 to 5. 1, no reaction at all. 5, I have to pause for either laughter or
Yes,
applause. And then in between. 3 would be like an average, like, okay, I hit a tag, people laughed.
Yeah.
The first show, it's a lot of 3s.
Yeah.
So there's steady laughter throughout it. It's like 3, 3, 3,
First show is
5,
very
3, 3, 5,
consistent,
3,
yeah.
3. A couple of 2s. Second show, it was like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Like all the bits. because I tag,
Yeah.
in the my notes, I put like the name of every single bit.
Yeah.
Even riffs that I was doing, I would name and put a level on.
Yeah.
Just for the editing process.
Sure.
But it was like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, show us second.
So I guess it is the second show. There are certain bits that are more relatable, obviously, to Tracy's friends and stuff.
Sure.
Like the engagement story.
Sure.
It got a laugh in the second show, but it got a huge
It was
laugh
a bigger
in the
laugh
first
in the first show.
show.
The podiatrist, but you also
Yeah.
changed it, I think.
Yeah, I changed it in the second show.
Yeah.
I added a tag in the second show, which I didn't put in the first show, which is it was kind of just a mean tag about her dad being a podiatrist, where I'm like, that's not even a real doctor.
No, but that's funny.
But it is very funny.
Yeah.
But I added it in the second show, but it didn't get a big enough laugh for me to justify doing the second show.
Yeah.
Like the engagement story from the second show. Because that's the other thing too, is when you edit, it's not like some people think it's like, oh, just take this word from this show and that word from this show. It's like
No.
you have to do, like, if you're going to do a bit from one of the shows, it has to be the full bit. And as we've discussed,
Yeah.
as a storyteller, it has to be the whole story.
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute bit.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's like I have
you'll
to.
be like, I said it kind of better in this one.
Yeah.
and-
But I got a bigger laugh in that one. So it's like, which one do I
Yeah.
want to use? So it's been an interesting process. But it was kind of revealing, where I was talking to a very big comic the next day. I had to go to work on Monday, and I'm at work. This very big comic who's a regular of mine, who people who listen to this can figure out who it was, but he stopped in.
You can tell me after.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will. But he stops in, and he was like, "Oh, how'd the special?" I don't know. I brought it up because obviously he doesn't know what the fuck I got
Sure.
going on, even though I text him all the time. I
Sure.
was like,
Okay,
"Dude,
romantic.
I ended up shooting the special on Sunday," and he goes, "Oh, dude, how'd that go?" And this is a person who tours theaters
Yeah.
across the country for his fans,
Sure.
huge comic, and he goes, "How'd it go?" And I said, "It's so crazy to do comedy in front of people who like you and want you to succeed."
Yeah.
I was like, "I murdered. I
Yeah, so he
fucking
knows. Yeah.
destroyed."
You did. And having watched it, you did.
His
Yeah.
response was, "We got to be careful about that because it's harder to grow if you're only doing comedy for people who like you."
That's a really good point.
Very good point. But also, it's been 24 hours. Can I
Yeah,
have this?
yeah. Let me have this. Let me.
You every weekend have
And it's also like,
thousands of
yeah,
adoring
I
fans.
get this once every 5 years. What do you mean?
This is 8-year-old material, some of it. Like, this is since I got sober and got back into stand-up. This is the material
you know
I'm
what's
burning.
funny? Like,
And his response is, you got to be careful. It's harder to grow if you only do it in front of people who like you.
I honestly, because my show's kind of on pause right now because my lovely co-producer she wrote a book. Obviously, she's Anna Koppelman. She's a friend of the pod as well. Oh, nice. Okay, that's kind of who I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she wrote a book. She's taking a break. Whatever.
Anna
It's
wrote a book?
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
that.
don't know if this is like public, but she's writing a book right now. That's her. Yeah.
It's out there now?
Yes, she's taking a little bit of a step back from stand-up. We're not doing our show.
Yeah, I
at
was
the
wondering. I
moment.
thought we were friends, and I invited her to the show, and then she just hearted the invite. And then
Oh,
never showed up.
hilarious. Well, her brother also got married yesterday,
Yes,
so
I
she's
did
been very
see that.
busy. But anyway, she and I had when we have our show.
Pucker.
Yes, which is on hiatus at the moment. I think we'll come back in the summer. We'll see. But it's funny because like that is our audience of like, it's a lot of your friends, it's a lot of your coworkers, it's people you know. And like, I do not feel that I have the best set in front of those people. Like,
Mhm.
I'm always like,
I've had horrible sets in
Yeah.
front of those because
the stakes are higher. They've seen a lot of your material already. So you want to do
that's-
newer stuff that's not as good. And also, a lot of times they're not as good laughers.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And
well, especially if they come from the real world and they're not stand-up. They're not necessarily
Yeah.
stand-up fans. They're there to
Yeah,
support you.
completely.
They don't. It's a different animal. The material thing is a huge thing.
Completely.
Because I've done shows before the special taping. I had done shows where Tracy would invite a bunch of her friends because
Yeah.
they're always like, "Tell us when Brendan has his next show." But they've all seen at least one of my shows.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are uninitiated with stand-up, you have your tight 5, your tight 10, your tight 20, depending on what you're doing, and that's the set.
I will say mine is I don't really have a set 5, 10,
Oh,
or 20.
really?
Yeah.
I have a set 5 because in my head, because I go to the cellar a lot.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, one of these days, Essie's going to ask me to audition.
yeah,
so I
yeah,
have a
yeah.
tight 5 that I'm
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like, I'm ready. I'm
I
ready.
got
I'm
this
ready.
on lock.
I have my audition set ready.
Nice.
And then I have a 20 because when I was touring and featuring for Matt,
Yeah.
I had to have
Who was lovely, by the way. It was
20.
so nice
yeah,
meeting him.
he's awesome. But I had to have 20. So then, the 10 you just pull from either
Yeah,
or.
yeah.
But it is interesting because all of her friends have heard that.
Yeah.
So then when they come to shows and, there's a smattering of people. It's probably like 20, 30 people. And I'm like doing a bit. The house lights are on. You could see the audience. And it's like, I'll be looking at her friend Camille, who I love, who's a huge fan.
You're
but I'll
saying
be like,
it. You're like, I'm reciting this for
I'm
you.
like, I literally, the last show we did before the special taping, I literally got into a bit. And then I saw Camille like looking up at me and I went, you've heard this like 4 times because you're such a good friend and you come to so many shows. I literally, I'm saying this out loud on the mic and I was like, I don't want to do this bit.
My friend Danielle is like this. I love her. Shout out to my friend Danielle. She's one of my roommates from college. Comes to like every pucker, would always be there. And like, there was a point where I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of played the hits tonight. She's like, yeah, I feel like I could like do your jokes with you. Like, I was like, I love
Which
you,
is
but like,
not something any of us want to hear.
No. And I was like, I had a friend when I first started. He came to see me like I had been doing comedy for less than a year. He came to see me the first time I had like a bringer was like the first show I ever did. I did the Comedy Mob bringer.
Okay.
Like 6 months
Monday.
in.
Yeah.
Not even they used to have a bringer that was like a 6-person bringer.
Oh,
like
really?
a 6-person audition show, whatever. So I did that. Bunch of my friends from college came. You only need to bring 6 people, but like I, invited a bunch of people to try to hit 6, and all my friends were like, we want to come see you do stand up. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Because normally you invite 20 and 3 show up.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool.
No, it was like I had 20 people there. It was crazy. And like this guy had come to see me there, really good friend of mine, my friend Brian. And then he came to see me on a show maybe 3 or 4 months later. And he was kind of like, this was great. He was like, I feel like I probably came to see you again too soon because you kind of did the same jokes. And I was like,
Brian.
I've been doing stand up for 20 minutes. Like I do not have more
These are the jokes.
Like
These
I
are
have
the jokes.
10 minutes. And it's not the fact that I have 10 minutes this like is good. Like but I just think people don't get it because they're like, every time you do a different set. And you're like, no.
To this point, one of my brother-in-law's fiance, she was texting with Tracy.
The way you said that, I thought you said one of my brother-in-law's fiance. No. So I was like, well, I gotta meet this guy.
No, it's his fiance. Huge fan. Her and her family come to a bunch of my shows. They're awesome. I love them very much. But she texts Tracy like 2 days before the special taping. Now, again, these people are uninitiated. They're not in comedy. They don't follow comedy. And she goes, have you heard Brennan's new material?
Oh my God, you told me this. Yeah.
And Tracy goes, what? And she's like texting back and forth. She goes, isn't Brennan doing all new material for Sunday? And Tracy was like, no, it's
his old material that he's planning to retire.
Getting rid of.
Yeah.
And so Tracy, being with me for as long as she has now become very acute with the sensibility of stand-up. She knew nothing about it before we met. Now she knows a lot about it. And she was very much like, no, it's a special, like, no, dummy, it's a special taping.
Yeah, like, what are you?
And she was like, yeah, I thought he said he was doing all new material. And it was so funny because in my head, for a brief moment, I panicked. Like, do people not realize that this is all the old stuff?
But it's like, people just don't know. Comedy is one of those things that like, it's so, I just think no one has any idea how it works. And it's something that so many people, because it is so accessible. Like if you could just go to an open mic. Yeah. It's not like writing a book.
I tell people that all the time.
Like, yeah, it's not like writing a book like Anna where it's like, you gotta write it. You write the whole thing. And then I could think of a joke.
I was trying to do my one-man show because there's so many books about sobriety and all these stories. I was like, oh, I'll pivot and I'll write it.
Yeah.
And I sent the one-man show, the whole script to so many book agents and book publishers being like, hey, let's turn this into like a real thing.
Yeah.
Like give me an upfront and then I'll just write this.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no, we're good.
Yeah. It's like,
I was like, this is a pretty cool redemption story.
Getting stuff out there. In terms of getting stuff out there, the internet and doing stand-up is like the barrier to entry is so low.
It's so low. I've had people on the show where they're like, oh, I wanted to be famous and going to an open mic was a lot easier than doing a million auditions.
It literally and I think that's why there's so many people who want to be actors in
comedy. I should have vetted you a little bit more. Yeah, I know. I'm like,
and I want to be clear, that's not my, I wanted to get my stuff out. Like I wanted
you had something
platform.
To say.
Yeah. But I wanted to do stand-up. Like that wasn't.
I'm the same way.
I mean, I think when I was younger, I wanted to do sketch, but then I got older and I was like, I'm not a sketch. I'm not an actor.
I like stand up, one, because I'm incredibly selfish and it's just me.
Same. Yep.
And two,
because we're amazing at it.
Well, my big thing is, and it's a line from Jerry Maguire, but it's obviously I have a lot about movie lines, but it's something that always resonated with me, even when I saw it when I was like 10 years old, which is I have so much to say and no one to listen.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, stand up.
I can just make you listen. Yeah.
Because now you have to listen. Yeah. And well, now podcasting came after that. But I was like, oh, now you're locked in. And especially with stand-up, because podcast people will just turn it off.
Yeah.
But with stand-up, it's like you're in the room, and if you get up, I'm gonna make sure everyone knows you got up.
Yeah. No, you're leaving? Oh.
Strap in.
You're gonna like it. It was funny during your special, like there was I opened, so I did the like, here's the rules.
Yeah.
You gotta sit in your seat. We're not gonna get up. We're not gonna use the bathroom. If you want to use the bathroom, do it during my set, all this shit. And I've seen it at every time I've been to a special taping. Someone always still gets up to go to the bathroom. And I'm like,
your friend got up during your, like, the end of your set. Like, you had started into the rules, and your friend on the first show got up to use the bathroom.
who's my friend?
Your friend.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Got up to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then he came out and stopped.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to interrupt what you were doing.
Yeah.
And I turned to him and I go, go now.
Yeah, go sit.
Go sit. Like,
on the second
what are you
show,
going to walk through all 4 camera shots while they're calling me on stage?
the second show, I was like, there was someone who got up during my set to go to the bathroom, and I was finishing up. I think he would lit me. And I was like, well, I'm not getting off stage till this guy comes back in his seat.
I appreciate
like,
that.
I
Yeah.
was like, but I was trying to remember. I was like, who's in the bathroom? Is everyone have their person that's next to them? Are we all accounted for? Like, but someone still got up, and it was funny because I had done this whole announcement, and I was standing by the bathroom while you were on stage, and someone did get up to go to the bathroom, and he came up to me and goes, I'm sorry. I was like,
That's so
it's
funny.
not me you gotta apologize to.
It's the production team and the
It's a
4
production
cameras.
team and Brennan. It's not me. It's not my idea. I didn't invent don't go to the bathroom during someone's comedy special.
One of my
But-
favorite parts was my brother-in-law's fiance, her phone fell
Yeah.
during
You were
the
like,
second
"Grace."
show. And I just was like, I stopped. Everyone started laughing. And I just go, Grace,
It was perfect.
we talked about this.
We talked about this. You weren't supposed to drop your phone. Well, I realized after I got off stage on the second show, I was like, oh, I didn't tell them to silence their phones. But it
The
was
second
fine.
show I was less worried about.
Yeah.
The first show, there was someone texting in the second show because one of my very good friends, his wife brought some of her friends, is like, oh, we'll fill the room.
Yeah.
But they don't know me. They don't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
One of them was texting.
Where were they?
Second row. So stage right, second row, the blonde woman.
Oh, yeah. They were fun, though. Overall,
The
but
first,
yeah.
the couple.
Yeah.
So it was like 3 couples that were all friends of
Sure.
hers. The people in the front did not like my comedy at all.
Okay.
Like,
hell
we're
yeah.
just kind of stoic the whole time.
That's
And I
the
was
second
like,
show?
yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm just not going to look at them. But then I see a light. So I turn and I see the woman behind them, who's also in that group, texting. And I was like, you cannot.
Oh, I didn't even know that happened.
Because I know there's editing and it's a special and we can fix it in post. But I was
Yeah.
like, you are a fucking professional. You will not address this.
Yeah, you can't.
Unless there's a noise or a sound or this messes up one of the camera angles, I'm not saying anything. The
No.
reason I said something with the phone falling was because it made a huge like, don't.
Ta-tung. Yeah.
But this one I was like, don't even feed it.
No, you can't.
If it was a regular set, I would have been like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
But I
no,
was like,
it's-
don't even say anything.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
It's tricky. I just was at Amanda Giles and Nick Astor filmed half hours at Flophouse. And yeah, people getting up to go to the bathroom where I was like, you're in the front row. Where do
Yeah.
you think you're going? Like,
It is weird too, because again, especially if it's people who don't know comedy,
Yes.
they're just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And you're like, no, not whatever.
but it's like, how do
You
you
do
not
realize this is my
understand
life's work.
I'm filming this. How do you not understand that? It's
The
like,
way I try to relate it to people is like if you were having a big meeting at work and
Yeah.
it's like the thing you've been working on for a big promotion
Yeah.
and you're in the middle of your PowerPoint and then I just walk through the room.
yeah. I was laughing.
And everyone would be like, the fuck is going on?
when I was as we know, I moved last week,
Yeah.
and I ended up bringing my couch at the last minute, so I changed the scope of my move. My movers were like, "We can't fit all your stuff if you bring your couch." And I was like, "That's fine. My family's local. Like, my brother's a
figure it
pickup
out, yeah.
truck. I have the place until tomorrow, so I'm like, I can come back. I have 10 days to come back and get the rest of my shit, whatever." So my mom and my brother came into the city. They were super late. And I used to live on the Upper East Side, so I was like, okay, we'll go to the Upper East Side, get all my shit, put it in the car. My mom will come back into the city a different day, and then I'll go from the Upper East Side to Brennan's special. And I was stressed because I was like, this is not my special, but this is like, I know how big a deal it is for you. Like,
Yeah.
I know how big a deal it is for someone to do a special. And I was like, I can't be like, I was like, I cannot show up at this thing in like gym shorts and like not that anyone cares about what I'm wearing, but I was like, no, this is
You
a
gotta
big
treat it with a
deal.
certain
I
amount of
want to
respect,
be
yeah.
like, and so I was like,
And
wearing,
also to that point, because you were in the middle of a move, not the easiest to get a hold of
No,
during
no,
the move.
yeah.
So there's a couple times I would text you and be like, the fuck, Ray?
Yeah, well, I'm also not the easiest to get a hold of
That's
ever.
true.
I'm a classic, like, I'll get
You
to that
read
later.
the text and you're like, I'll get back to
yeah,
it.
like,
And
I mark it as unread, and then I'm, but
well,
then
now I
it's
send
like,
you eyes.
you should, yeah.
I'll be like,
because sometimes I need a follow up.
I send the eye emoji and I'm like, hey, I know you saw it. I know
That's
you're
how I
busy.
am at work. I need, like, once you follow up, I'm like, okay, done. I got this. But anyway, I'm coming back because the move also happened so rapidly because I was living with a insane person, and
Yeah.
it became like, this has really taken over my life for the last like
It became a
6
toxic
weeks.
situation.
It's become like, it was like I couldn't I couldn't leave my room. Like, I was in my room like waiting for her to leave so that I could I would go to the gym to like use the bathroom. Like, it was crazy vibes for the last like month. And like, because I think when I told you I was going to do the special, I didn't even know I was moving.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to move.
Well, and I had asked you like 2 months prior.
And I thought I was going to move to New Jersey for the summer because I was gotten to the point where this girl was so nasty that I was like, I can't live here anymore. I'm going to sublet my place and go live with my parents for the rest of the summer, which would have sucked for comedy, but it would have made it work. But anyway, I'm getting my stuff from the Upper East Side. I'm like, I'm going to bring a change of clothes. I'm going to bring makeup so that I can just like go from the Upper East Side to Brennan's thing. I'm not going to be late. It's going to work. So I go to the Upper East Side, I'm unpacking my shit, and I like realize that I have not brought any of my makeup. And I'm not like a huge makeup girl, but I was just like, I'm not showing up to this taped event
Sweaty gym
sweaty,
clothes.
no makeup. Like, so I had my clothes. I opened the bag. I'm like, my fucking makeup's not here. So I ended up going. It wouldn't have made sense for me to go all the way back to Brooklyn where I live now and then come to Astoria.
Because that's 3 trains.
Or
There and then 3 trains back.
yeah, it would have been nuts. I mean, it's
or
all
the traffic if you're in a car. It's nuts.
I'm
yeah.
off the queue. So like the queue to the end, like it's kind of you're just sitting on one line for a long time. It's not terrible. It's just long. So I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And I ended up going to like the local Ulta on the Upper East Side and doing my makeup. And I probably gave myself like an eye
Herpes.
disease. Yeah. But I was in there like, and I'm like looking around, like trying to pretend like I might buy something. Like I'm like, oh, it's a product I use every day. And I'm like, and I use like a cheaper mascara than the ones they have at Ulta. But I was like, this will be fine. I'm putting it on. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this. And then once I was in there, I was like, all right, I'll get a little fancy with this. But I was just like laughing while I was like, this is such a stupid like me thing to like to have to fucking stop at Ulta, do my makeup. Like,
Hey, we appreciated it.
I tried, and I obviously looked beautiful.
You did.
Yeah, if you see Brennan's special, I'm not in it, but I looked beautiful before.
You did.
So,
You're going to be in the credits?
Hell
We're gonna put you on IMDb.
Yeah,
I mean, it's nothing compared to
baby.
the following you have now, but
Well,
you'll have the credit.
exactly.
This was fun.
It was so fun.
We always just end up talking.
I know.
Oh, you're sober or not sober? You're not drinking right now.
I don't know. It's like
I
I've
can do
I've
that.
actually been dabbling with drinking,
Okay, so you're getting back into it.
kind of, but then it's like, why am I doing this? You know?
Yeah. Well, and again, it's the empty calories and all the like eating $57
Totally,
at Taco Bell. And
totally.
you're
And that was my friend, by the way, to
Yeah,
be clear. I've
just to
never
be
spent $57 at Taco Bell. I've never spent more than $20 at Taco Bell. But I had cut back. Last summer, I started drinking again. I was like on a trip where there was a lot of like free alcohol. So
because
I
you
was
do
like,
a lot of trips. You do.
yeah, I
you
travel a lot.
the world.
Yeah. Just a
Well, you have
rebel.
ties to Colombia,
Yes,
and then
yeah,
we talked
yeah.
about that on the last
I
one.
do like to
You were
travel.
in the same room with the president, so hungover that you thought you were gonna die.
Yep, pretty much. And yeah,
President of Colombia.
President of Colombia. I've never met President Donald Trump.
No.
Thank God. But I was just went on this trip. I was like, I'll drink while I'm here. Then I came back, had a bunch of weddings. I was like, yeah,
Let's
I
get
took
after
my
it.
break. I like lost 30 pounds. I immediately gained like 12 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid. It's so toxic that's my motivation for.
But I mean, it is a thing. We're in the public eye, so it's also.
I'm also a woman, so it's just like.
Rocky Dennison. You
Yeah,
just-
yeah, exactly. I got to show you him when I'm done.
It's so
Yeah.
funny because Tracy, because we went on a diet because of the pregnancy thing, which is a
Sure.
whole other thing. But then I ended up losing all this weight
Yeah.
because of the diet. We cut out sugars,
Sure.
we cut out basic carbs,
Sure.
which is basically just healthy eating. But
Yeah.
it's like, we'll cut this out. So I lost all this weight. And then she would make fun of me because when we met, I was bigger and I'm still very strong. But she
Yeah.
was like, you're wasting away. But then when you watch it back, the footage, I'm like, I'm still chubby as shit in this special.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel the same way.
because of the cameras
Yeah.
and your like angles and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, It's insane. I would have to lose like 30 more pounds to be at a place where I was like, oh, that looks acceptable to put
Yeah.
out to the world, which obviously I'm not going to do because then I would lose all my strength. But it's like,
Yeah, and it's all, none of it matters. It's all like,
well, and I get to wait on a lot of celebrities and they
Yeah.
look beautiful on screen, but then I see them in real life and I go, they look sick.
yeah,
Like someone get them a hamburger
yeah,
stat.
yeah.
Like they look like they're withering
they're
away.
anemic. That's like, yeah.
It's nuts. But hey, we're
It's
doing
hard.
it.
It's
We're
hard.
doing the best we can, you
Yeah.
know?
But I'm like, okay, maybe I can. I've been drinking when it makes sense to drink. Like I went to an event where it was like,
But does it make sense?
yeah, I don't like because I'm not like AA sober. Like I don't
Yeah.
need to be sober. Like I don't.
God, sorry.
Yeah, not to dunk on you, but I like, I like, you know,
You don't have a problem.
I can pick a day and be like, I'm not going to drink for the next 6 months. And that's
Yeah.
not a big, I just go, okay, turn it on, turn it off when I feel like it. I'm trying to find a place where I'm like, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, I do like to have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of trying to figure out where it like fits in. Like I went to my friend's birthday and it was an open bar. And I like went all the way down to DC for it and everyone was drinking. And I was like, there's no reason I can't have a drink here. So I've kind of, someone I talked to recently said, she was like, my default is to not drink. And that's always my default. But when I really feel like it,
When you have a reason.
and it's special occasion or whatever, then I'll make a choice. Like, do I want to add this on as is like a treat or whatever?
Yeah.
And like, that is kind of where I'm trying to get now. And I think is where I'm at now, where I'm like, and I'm seeing if that works. It's like, I went out for a dinner, it was like a prefix thing. The wine was included. I was like, I'm not going to have wine at this. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, it's not going to ruin my life if I have a glass of wine.
Tracy's the same way. If she goes out with her friends, obviously not when she's pregnant, but if she
Yeah,
goes out
yeah.
with her friends and nobody's drinking, she won't drink.
Yeah.
If someone gets a drink and they're all splitting the bill, she's like, well, I'm not paying for your $20
Completely.
drink and
I'm
I'm
not
not
having
going
a
to get
Diet
a drink.
Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I completely the
Well,
same.
and now it doesn't even make sense financially because a lot of these places that serve mocktails, they
the same
charge
price.
$20
Yeah,
for a
it's
mocktail. And you're like,
crazy.
well, I might as
Yeah.
well just get a drink then.
Yeah, like a glass of wine is cheaper than a mocktail sometimes. It's
And
crazy.
it is weird because the sober curious movement of especially Gen Zers, where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's no reason to drink, it's toxic, whatever.
Yeah,
Now we live in a capitalist society, and now corporations are pivoting to be like, well, let's just make really expensive mocktails
Yep,
then.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's why I'm a big water guy. In
Water's
my
the
sobriety,
best.
I've always
I
just
got
been a big
tea.
water guy.
what
Your
if I
tea.
reveal this is vodka the whole time?
We're partying.
Your current drinking buddy.
This was fun. Thank you
This
for
was so
coming
fun.
on. Thank you for opening the
me.
special.
Oh my god, check out the special. It's amazing.
Plug everything one more time.
Okay, I'm at GK Lobo on Instagram. I'm Hello Grace Lobo on TikTok. I also have a podcast called Hill to Die On that is on hiatus at the moment, but we're coming back soon. So
Pucker Comedy.
Pucker Comedy will be back too. All my projects on hiatus.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com, and check out the special streaming everywhere in the next couple of weeks, maybe the next couple of
It's gonna
months.
be awesome. You're gonna love it.
Talk to y'all next week. Boom.
Bye.